the only podcast that is replaced with serial characters this week. It's Whacked Out Wrestling. Hello, everybody. It's Whacked Out Wrestling this week, and we have a very big week of wrestling this one, as we're on the road to Fastlane, we're on the road to the New Japan Cup, and we have a whole bunch of other stuff going on this week. As always, I am your host, Thomas S.K. Green. With me, as always, is Joey the Caveman, Prince Moxley Lopez, and John Roche.
Hey,
what's up, everyone?
And
do we get to pick our characters, our serial characters?
Possibly.
Count Chocula.
Damn it!
What do you mean, damn it?
Well, that's where I was going.
Captain Crunch, so you could be Count Chocula.
Nice.
Okay, Captain Crunch.
Still not. That puts me on the spot for these ones. That's one of the weaknesses of new stuff going that requires a future live watch on it. But yes, the big news on it as well is this was a pretty bad week.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yep.
Tell you what, you want to just do the live watch? Is it on the WWE Network, the Serial Wars?
Yeah.
You want to just do the live watch tonight?
Yeah, that works.
Let's do the live watch tonight, and we'll make that the show, and we'll talk about wrestling next week. Is it a wheel or, to quote one of my old friends from a long time ago, is it a wheel or a deal?
Yeah, it works for me because honestly, there wasn't that much that was to talk about this week in wrestling anyway. So,
well then, friends, I guess I'm gonna get it up on this computer. And
if anybody's having problems getting it up on the computer, always go to bluechew.com and they can help you out.
I don't think that works on them since Bone Soldier isn't here.
So okay,
I can live watch with you guys.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna go to. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm gonna go to the WWE Network account.
Yeah.
My account. I gotta get another card, man. Mine's gonna be up in like a few days.
Yeah.
I got to get me another card so I can watch the WrestleMania.
Well, it's $9.99 a month, and it's
no, I know.
That's $9.99 you'll spend. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. What I did. Well. Oh wait. Hold on, I'm just trying to.
While it's going through for these ones, the big information from the week would be just running down what happened on the ones that can't go through on it would be basically you have on Raw another Corbin, Lashley, McIntyre versus Angle, Balor, Strowman match. Who the fuck cares? Natalya defeats Ruby Riott again. Heavy Machinery wins a gauntlet match to prove they are the best, worst tag team on Raw.
Stakes and weights, baby! Stakes and weights!
Yeah.
I love how they do homages to Too Cool and the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
Love. And then they're all about the stakes and they're all about the weights.
Exactly.
Anyone like that, any person like that, I can get behind. No pun intended. Oh God.
Yep.
That didn't sound right.
Elias defeated Dean Ambrose to help leave him on the way out. Tamina beat Sasha Banks. And in the biggest shocker of all, the Revival actually beat Ricochet and Aleister Black. The Revival actually win a match as champions. Yes.
Guys, what am I looking up on the AWA? I'm sorry.
The Battle of Breakfast cereal. It's in Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems?
Yep.
May 1st, 1989.
Yep.
Okay. So it'll be under. What will it be under?
It would be under the WWE Hidden Gems collection. It'll be on
shows.
Yeah, from 1989, the Battle of Breakfast cereal.
Okay, I'm trying to find it.
While he's doing that, we also lost King Kong Bundy.
Rest in peace.
Yep. And in other news today, to add to it, the Destroyer was also signed by the ALWF this week.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Rest in peace there, too.
Yeah.
And the NWA sounds like they were ahead of their time with their goofy serial wars.
Yep.
It reminds me of that Totally Tool Wrestling thing that they did a few years back.
Well, apparently this looks like it was just a sold show for a Kellogg's sales convention. So keep that.
Okay, I got it up.
Okay.
So,
Bluetooth works, you guys.
Yep.
Hold on.
And meanwhile, while going with these ones, the same stuff from SmackDown to go through was The Miz defeats Jey Uso because reasons on it. Samoa Joe wins the United States Championship from R-Truth, Andrade, and Rey Mysterio as R-Truth's childhood hero John Cena failed him. Ricochet and Aleister Black beat The Bar.
Hold on a minute. Sorry.
Mandy Rose beats Naomi, and Kevin Owens beats Rowan in the main event. When that just seems like it's a weird thing there because Owens is just doing too well as a babyface to really think that but you gotta make Kofi the champion at WrestleMania thing has any legs. Because really...
Here's what I think is going to happen. Sorry, Tommy. I think Mustafa Ali making his return, saving things, that's got to... Here's what they're going to do. I bet you Sami Zayn returns and joins Danielson and Rowan.
It would be viable on these ones, but ultimately it's a problem because I can see Planet News champions on it who are some ultra hippies on it. I can see them working with genius vintners on this one to ally him. But throwing a ska fan into the mix, that just doesn't seem right.
You know what I noticed too about SmackDown? Is it just me or did Matt Hardy look exactly like he did when he was in the New Brood?
I think
Huh?
Yeah, I think so, because it looked like he was wearing the same outfit he was then.
Yeah, he was wearing the same outfit, and I was like, shit, the guy looked like he de-aged somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff even wore the old mesh shirt back in the day. Yeah. They did a throwback, both of them.
I thought it would only be like a one-time thing because wasn't Matt Hardy's contract up, but...
Well, from what the story was, the contracts for both Matt and Jeff were up in 11 days a few weeks ago. But from what they said on this one, part of the return to some TV on it has let the WWE pay off an option that gives them another year.
Yes.
And Matt looks in great shape. It's like the time off helped him a lot.
Yeah.
Just, I wonder when's Bray coming back.
I don't know on this one, and Bray says he might come back, but ultimately he might be in the, it would be better off to send him to AEW level. And I'm not just saying that as someone who's a fan of the T-shirt company, but rather the fact that Bray Wyatt just seems like he's been torn up beyond recognition right now. He'd be better off.
Since you're a T-shirt collector, how many AEW T-shirts do you have so far?
I need to buy one. I need to buy the AEW one now.
Actually, I do have about 3 AEW shirts, but only because Hot Topic. Yeah. Well, luckily the Hot Topic near me is one of the test markets for the elite stuff, so I was able to get it.
Hey, got a question. Do you got an extra cleaner Kenny Omega Bullet Club shirt?
I only have one Kenny Omega shirt in my thing, and that's a Golden Lovers, so.
Damn it. Okay, I want to get that. I want to get the AEW logo shirt, and I want to get the Bullet Club Kenny Omega shirt.
Yeah, unfortunately, I try to keep one shirt per person unless I really like them, so. And
well, I mean, AEW is the company, and Omega's the, so. Anyway, I got the show up. When do you guys want to start it?
Okay, then. If you've got the show up, I'll start it up now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, you guys know I can't watch this with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. But you can hear.
Wait a minute, pause it. Okay, start it over again. Okay, so Mox, you can't watch it?
I've got an ad right now, so.
What?
Yeah. I've got an ad right now, so I'll just pause it after this ad stops.
Okay, so Mox, are you gonna be okay watching this, or?
Yeah, basically it's following along for the people who are watching it. So,
Roach, can you watch it?
Yeah, I can watch it. I have the app, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised. This is only like an hour-long show.
Yep.
Yeah, it was literally like I remember it. It wasn't like a big, but like I'm literally sitting outside of my car on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm paused when you guys are ready.
Okay.
Up.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Go. Oh wait.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Nelson.
Okay, what seconds are you on? I just want to get it synchronized.
Joey, you're a little bit ahead of whoever just started theirs. I think that was Greeny.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was about as second behind you.
Okay.
Okay then.
Hit it again.
Now.
Your announcer for this evening's main event. Tonight, here at the Hyatt Hotel in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we'll
Might be
witness
a little bit loud on yours one.
as the grapplers from
Turn it down.
Yeah.
take on the guys from
How's that?
Yep.
We'll be ringside.
That good?
Yeah.
The Hyatt Hotel. Missy Hyatt Hotel?
Possibly.
They all ran a train on her after the show.
Gillette, the best that men can be.
No, come on, dude. Everyone makes fun of Missy Hyatt being the biggest, slut of them all in wrestling.
Well, yes, of course. But this is a level
joke.
There is sexually liberated urban teen levels for it. And we have a random thing for... This just seems like a random... Again, this cannot be said for it's not even just a sold show. It's just a random show for the Kellogg's executives.
Is Nails part of this?
I don't know, but very likely could be because he wasn't AWA at the time. So,
what time are you guys at?
I'm in the middle of the national anthem. So,
yeah, same here.
Oh, too hot loud, so.
She kind of looks a little like a cross between Molly Holly and Leah Thompson, whoever's doing this.
Possibly.
Nice voice.
Maybe it should be muted a little bit so that we can keep talking for it. So I don't think people want to listen to us for it. So
okay,
or listen to them, or they rather listen to us for it.
Do you want me to turn it down more then?
Yeah, just turn down the voice in this one because if they can hear us, that's important. Yeah.
That good?
Yep.
So what is it? So all the fucking Kellogg's people?
Yeah. Apparently it looks like that, so.
Well, in Japan they had that Royal Rumble or that Battle Royal in a grocery store, didn't they? Or deathmatch in a grocery store?
But this is a little bit different than just that. These are literally people playing for the sponsors. It's even worse than the grocery store. And they talk about a bunch of different people who probably mean nothing on these ones that no one's heard of, who probably were Kellogg's salesmen.
Are we in sync or are we off a second?
Might be about, it's imperceptible. And we have Total the Terrible, who looks like one of the Beverly Brothers.
Mike Enos.
Yeah. Only his gimmick now is that he is a fan of Total cereal.
Hold on, Mike. I'll handle this one.
Mm-hmm. If you wonder if him being in the ring when Scott Hall was in the NWO was the lowest point in his career, this is clearly his lowest point.
What about when he and Bloom were tag teaming as Minnesota Wrecking Crew number two under Hoods while they were the AWA Tag Champs? That might have been lower than this.
I don't know. Wrestling as a box of Total might be worse. And
well, okay, this was before the gobbledygooker, but Hector Guerrero would probably be looking down on these guys.
Yes, at least Hector Guerrero.
Who's playing Kellogg?
I don't know who that guy is off the top of my head. He looked vaguely like Terry Taylor, but it couldn't have been him because the Red Rooster was in WWF, and he wouldn't leave the WWF even as Red Rooster for this gimmick.
Weirdly enough, he looked like Jobber Jim Evans from WWF back in the day, but I doubt it.
Well,
and there's the other Beverly brother, Wayne Bloom.
Only he's now playing the B from Honey Nut Cheerios.
Because we got Brian Blair for this.
I don't know if he was humble enough to do this.
Hondo the what does that say on his jacket? Hondo the what?
Hondo the Honeybee Haymaker.
Oh jeez. They better have been gotten paid really good for this shit.
Yeah.
No, they probably got paid as cereal, like lifetime supply of cereal.
Mr. Opportunity.
Holy shit, it's R-Truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, seriously,
looks like R-Truth.
Derek Dukes from the AWA. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, so this is
the only black guy in AWA at the time. So.
Okay, then I'm guessing it's Ricky Rice and Derek Dukes. Or...
Mm-hmm. The one regret was that the ring announcer wasn't Eric Bischoff. You've got to assume that Bischoff could have been this guy, so.
Yeah. All these motherfuckers from Minneapolis. That's AWA for you, though.
Yeah.
Colonel De Beers.
Yep. Colonel De Beers would not wrestle black performers, but he's willing to do this, folks. That should tell you something.
Yet De Beers, outside of his character, was a huge fan of R&B.
Yeah. So he probably would have been on R. Kelly's side after he screamed all this week. So.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Yes.
Did he just
he elbow dropped a cereal box, folks.
So what? Ric Flair would knee drop the mat going crazy. So what else?
You wonder why this needed a live watch. This is why it needed a live watch. And apparently he elbow dropped a box of cornflakes.
That's awesome. Now what? I think that's Jake Milliman.
Yeah. No,
you know what?
It might have been Colonel. I heard rumors it was probably Wahoo McDaniel. So.
Oh, that might be Wahoo. Yeah, I think that looks more like Wahoo. You're right.
Yeah.
Jacob Milliman, though, he had a cool gimmick. He had a cool proto Eugene gimmick in AWA. Why'd they just make him a pure jobber in the WWF? DJ Peterson as well was a good babyface, and they made him a pure jobber.
Honestly, I'm thinking because DJs weren't around in the 1990s for WWE to notice them, and the gimmick of a milkman who's going to come to your house and sleep with all your wives was probably stolen by Rick Rude. So,
no, but I'm saying like they made the AWA guys jobbers or lower card guys.
Yeah.
Ah, all right, Bad Company.
Yep. Yep, and they say they're the twins, but they're clearly not.
I seriously should get my hair cut like Paul Diamond's. I seriously should.
Yep. I could
Practically, if I just shave the sides a little bit, if I cut the sides and the front short, I have it right now.
Mhm. All this cereal being ripped into the ring is probably going to lead to problems there. So
Yeah. Okay, it looks like we're off a second or something.
sales and marketing. So yeah, this is totally a sales, and you can tell it's Greg Gagne from seeing it, and Larry Zbyszko, of course. And they talk about their S&M.
I don't think that's Larry Zbyszko. I know it's Greg Gagne.
Mm-hmm.
Can that be Tom Zink?
It might be. Could very well be. I thought he was in WCW at this time, though.
I think he had a cup of coffee in AWA before he went.
Well, that's what this is. This is the cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I think this is more the bowl of cereal to go with the cup of coffee, though. So.
God, they should have had fans come to this rather than just employees. You could have made some money.
Well, I think this is it. It's basically just a sales meeting for Kellogg's, and they actually put this on the network.
Well, like I said before, I mean, this reminds me of like Totally Tool Wrestling that happened a few years later.
Even Totally Tool Wrestling was a parody on this. This was just
Twinkie the Kid, dude. Twinkie the Kid.
Mm-hmm.
What a fit.
Mm-hmm.
What's this guy bloviating about now?
Apparently, it's just a random. Again, it's a Kellogg's meeting that just happened to have AWA matches involved in it. Why
am I imagining the Dilbert people doing this?
Honestly, I could absolutely buy it.
Or frickin' Parks and Recreation, or that shitty what's the name of that show that spoofs Walmart that's on NBC? Superstore, yeah. Why am I picturing them doing this? Those schmucks.
Honestly, it would be possible, but I don't think Walmart could afford to pay for this.
The only non-schmuck on that show is Mark McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
To everyone that was offended, to every Superstore fan that I offended, I humbly apologize.
I suck at the teeth of my corporate overlords. I can deal with this. Yeah. This is just the most absurd thing I've ever seen of the hidden gems on it. It's a Kellogg's sales meeting.
What is this guy doing? I can't really hear him. Is he cutting a heel promo?
No, he's cutting a face promo to try and lure the salesman of Kellogg's to hype this.
Oh, so he's basically filleting them.
Yeah.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Gone.
Yeah.
Nut and Honey O's. Is that still around today?
I don't think so.
I remember
the great sales work of the AWA here.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Total. Don't talk shit about Total.
Meanwhile, it was later seen that Vince McMahon would use this exact promo on Jeff Jarrett at the simulcast.
Really?
Yes. Related to Jeff Jarrett getting on creative for WWA now.
He's part of the creative team now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alongside such luminaries as Bruce Pritchard and Jason Jordan for some reason.
Isn't Jeremy Borash part of them too now?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Well, they also have a bit Sanjay Dutt, so.
I mean, they're okay. I mean, I keep waiting for Jason Jordan to come back and help Angle, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
God damn it, dude. It's like 15 minutes in. We haven't got one friggin' match yet.
Yes.
And now he's trying to
have things that are more important. A random 1989 speech for the sales marketing of Kellogg's.
Dude, don't tell me this is going to be like the NXT show where it was no wrestling at all.
Yes.
It is?
Even that would be different on that one because at least that had angles, promos. This has a sales speech for Kellogg's.
I think AWA got tricked into this. Hey, you want to make some money? Let's do a KSA show.
Yeah.
Oh, not King of Saudi Arabia? You mean Kellogg's Sales Associates?
Yeah.
Wheaties gone.
Yep.
Kicks.
I think that Michael Jordan just promised he's going to sign with General Mills just to spite this dude after that.
Look at my big fat ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now what's this motherfucker gonna do? Try to kick an extra point with the rocks? Oh, yep. It's good! Doing his Ford Rivez impersonation.
He's not the new Bears kicker named Chris Blewett.
Well,
no, I was thinking of Ford Rivez, who I think was the Vikings kicker back then.
You'll know Chris Blewett.
That's a full sentence.
Yep.
What a fucking name, Ford Rivez.
It's only a few minutes in, and they should have sent a poet. This is too much.
Leaping Lenny Poffo.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's done Winston Churchill. He's done Howard Beale from Network.
Okay, apparently the Ford wasn't the kicker of the Vikings then. Yeah.
Okay,
finally,
wrestling.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, enjoy this shit.
Damn right I will. Uh-oh. Oh, God, Vikinos.
You can see how good it is when you see the sign saying bad guys in it. Really good.
Boo this man.
He's an Enos.
You can see the problem on this one. Like, if he's supposed to be Nutri-Rock-Me, you don't give him a Nutri-Grain cereal thing on this. What are you trying to do? You got to give these people a reason to sell stuff here. You think they're doing it just for a speech?
Okay, these people came to see a show, I assume.
And Kellogg's wants to sell some damn cereal, and everything's going to shit.
Yes.
What if Impact did this today? Or what if somebody like Chikara did this today?
Honestly, I think it would need to take a thing that is willing to admit they are sellouts and suck at the teat of capitalism in order to get money for the proletariat on their roster. So probably AEW would do it.
I don't know. I could see Chikara doing that. They had a guy called Ultimate Breakfast, so
yeah,
right up there.
Of course.
Now I want like a a tournament of the Ultimate Breakfast in
Mhm.
Shakur, and Cheeseburger faces the winner of the tournament in the main event. Like, what's better, breakfast or dinner?
I don't know. I think that Beyond's already got this one with the
Can you relay that to McHale, Pops?
well, but possible. But I think that right now that Beyond has one of their groups that's the sandwich company that runs shows with them that has Cheeseburger as their champion. So it's kind
Yeah.
of
Hey, Mox, can you relay that idea to McHale?
Yeah, I can.
yeah.
Is Andy still doing the hockey?
Yeah.
Damn, we should have got him to watch this too, but
Yeah, if he was at home beforehand on it, I would have absolutely sent him the link because this needs more people to see on it.
hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice arm drag. Nice tip toss. And a body slam. Total's totally getting his ass kicked.
And a drop kick.
And a drop kick. He's begging off.
All the moves.
Meanwhile,
All the moves.
Tourette's guy is yelling. Meanwhile, Tourette's guy who's cheering for this guy is yelling in the background, "Ah, Brett Saget!"
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think the Tourette's guy is probably a better view than this stuff.
What?
Tourette's guy would probably be a better wrestler than most of this stuff. And it's a shame because these wrestlers are good. It's just they're in gimmicks for Kellogg's and General Mills. I mean, you don't expect the game Coke wins for Atari 2600 to be any good. It's just a Coke advertising thing for their families.
There was a Coke game for Atari 2600?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, there was.
How bad was that compared to E.T.?
It was...
It was bad.
Yeah. Think a worse version of Space Invaders.
Oh.
Okay.
Like,
hey, have you guys
Space Invaders is god tier compared to, to the...
You guys remember the Porky's Atari game?
I was about to say, and I still have I have 3 2600s, and I have my Porky's.
How the fuck did they get away with making a game based on the early 80s version of American Pie back then?
Well,
it's not the worst game they made for the Atari 2600 in that regard. Believe me.
No, I know it's not, but I'm saying E.T. was family-oriented. Porky's is in no way, shape, or form family-oriented.
Well, if you think of it that way, games like RoboCop shouldn't have been made because that first movie was not family-oriented at all.
Well played. Touche.
Yeah, it wasn't until RoboCop hung out with Sting.
Oh shit! He did the Ultimate Warrior splash and got the win.
Yeah, and we have the joy of Nutrigrain showing you that Total is not good food. All glory.
Yeah, it's got 100. Yeah, Total's got 100% of your daily RDA and most vitamins.
Well, they can go with this one for colon blow because they got colon blowed out.
Look at that announcer. He's just like, oh god, I can't believe I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
He's just trying to keep it composure.
You know that the AWA roster was not getting paid at this time, and they're willing to do this.
They're getting paid as cereal, I bet you.
Yeah. And we have another Kellogg's group here.
Hey, you guys think any of these guys tried to hit on some ring rats in their cereal gimmicks after the show?
Honestly, I would love to see if one of them succeeded. Even if that's a Gillette moment, I would love to see there be some woman in Minneapolis who said, yeah, girlfriend, you will not believe who I was with last night. Who? I was with a guy who played a box of Total. Oh, no, you didn't. That would just...
What are you saying? Oh, no, you didn't back in 1989, or was that a 90s thing?
I would assume that Minnesota was a couple years ahead of them. I mean, it was the place of Prince and a bunch of...
You're full of shit. Yeah. You're so full of shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, My buddy would be on Tanaka and Diamond scoring ring rats as a breakfast gimmick.
Yes. Well, they were at least the Mills brothers. You can get away with that stuff, so.
But were they the General Mills brothers?
And DDP would be filming that shit.
More than likely.
And you know this, man.
This thing we're watching is sponsored by Kellogg's, not Gillette.
Yes.
No, it's sponsored by Kevin Does Dallas.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem on this one because you need something to go through random speeches by random Kellogg's executives in 1989. Something has to go through this. We're just giddy from this.
Was Medusa Michelli in AWA in '89, or was she gone by then?
I believe she was, yes. But
she was there?
Yeah, but the AWA women was kind of weak on it, and they did have the Foxy boxing division at the time, so.
Oh God!
But Medusa had legit skill. She was.
Yeah, but
she had legit skill.
Of course, but that's the problem. It's not what skill was. It was the time period, and
I just had a random thought. Medusa Michelli cosplaying as Rainbow Bright. Wow, was that bad? That's like Pregnant Boss City.
No, it's just trying to get more of this info, this great stuff to sell Kellogg's.
Oh. Yeah, I was just thinking, damn. I mean, I was making a joke. I mean, I didn't really think Michelli's Rainbow Bright would be that bad.
Well, with the time frame, like her cosplaying Punky Brewster.
No, Kelly Monaco would cosplay Punky Brewster. In fact, she did at one time.
True.
But no, Monaco. Well, no, I'm talking about Medusa Michelli was what, like 20-something in '89? Like her as Rainbow Bright would have been cool. Hell, her now playing Rainbow Bright would look cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to a wall.
No, it's just the fact that even now, just talking about Rainbow Bright works more than this video, so.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with Rainbow Bright?
Nothing. It's what's the fuck's wrong with this video?
Reports from McHale hearing on this one was, so is this show a one-off or did they make a serial out of it?
That was a corny
Invite him over, man. Let him watch this with us if he's on.
Yeah.
Get him in this place,
Send the link, so.
Awesome. That's Greg Gagne running his mouth, right?
No, that's just a random executive at Kellogg's, like most of this stuff.
Okay,
more proof of
why
is this on the network? I mean, you
I'm kind of an idiot tonight.
Why? Why do you put this on there?
I was gonna say, like, in case anybody was wondering, like, while you're live watching it and why I got put on the network today, it's National Cereal Day.
Yes,
it was my idea, people. It was my idea.
Vince McMahon must have seen it, and he must have been like, "My God, this is genius. We have to put this on."
Yes.
And like always, 30 years too late.
Well, yeah.
You know what? You know what? I'm kind of craving cereal by watching this.
Honestly, I would be, except the last cereals I bought were things that were just, you have to buy it just to try it once. Like Chicken and Waffles cereal is out.
Dude, I want to go to that place in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in California. I want to go to that.
Yes, but do you make that?
It's down here too. That shit is good.
Mm-hmm. It's good as chicken and waffles. Nice. But chicken and waffles as a cereal is my question.
Yeah, like I would never try that.
I wish I lived in Texas because I'd get a bowl of Slam Dunkin' and be watching this right now. I'd be chowing on to some Slam Dunkin'.
Yes. And then you also have the other flavor to go with it, maple bacon donut cereal.
Fuck anything with maple in it.
Yes.
I can't eat that.
Mhm.
I can't eat bacon.
Yep.
And I don't do anything with maple, so.
Yes. Honestly, that one's, I think it works as bacon because if there's one thing that would make the Yahweh cry, it is a bacon cereal.
That just sounds wrong, dude.
Yes.
You sounded like Lord Alfred Hayes there.
Yeah. Well, you can tell that they needed a Churchill to have the war between General Mills and Kellogg's.
You know what? There was a very underrated character for you in WWF, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yep.
Absolutely. He's not brought up enough.
Hire Wade Barrett back and just have him be the new Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yep. That was a man who could sell some advertisements himself. I don't need to hear his AW.
Oh, forget the advertisements. He was a good commentator.
About fruit stripe gum. That's what you need.
Okay, another match. Who's coming out? Oh God, Wayne Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
This was not Wayne Bloom's best moment.
Yes. Well,
can't you say that for about everybody in this program? Like this was.
Yes, sir. You very well can.
This was not their best moment.
Yep.
What would have been a better theme for Bad Company besides the Bad Company song? Cherry Pie by Warrant or Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue? What would have been a better theme for them?
I'm assuming the songs, much like every wrestler who needs a new theme, would have to be something by Wesley Willis.
Oh,
no,
God.
I'm talking about like Bad Company circa 89, 90. Like, I mean, if they weren't using Bad Company by Bad Company, what would be better? Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue or Cherry Pie by Warrant?
Probably
I'd go with
could see the
Warrant.
Yeah. So the benefit of Bad Company coming to the ring and
Wesley Willis
fuck a camel's booty hole is probably too much to
Wesley Willis. Oh, rest in peace. Yeah. I had two chances to see him, and I decided not to go see him. And then he died.
Yes.
Rock over London, rock on Chicago. Now that's the stuff. Hostess.
Yes.
Dude, you know what we need to... I know we're a wrestling show, but I have a request for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I have a request.
Yep.
We sit down. I know this is whacked out wrestling, but where we go, we don't need rail.
Yep.
Let me express my idea for a second watch through tonight. How about we watch an episode of the greatest game show of all time with the greatest host of all time? I'm talking about Video Power.
Works for me. I'm fine with whatever, so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's listening, so.
You guys want to watch the Video Power after this?
Yep. Works
that takes me back, man.
Yes.
Looks like we're going to watch some Video Power after this.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Arcade.
Yep. And honestly, this is with Mr. Opportunity. You can see him. It may be the lowest moment in
Jerry Crow he has.
Life. And if it's Derek Dukes, I think that also counts the time where he was caught rigging a boxing match.
What? Go on, explain.
Well, after his pro wrestling career, he became a boxer, and it was widely considered that he willingly took a dive for a boxing match for a famous football player or stuff. So,
okay.
Who is this?
The guy for Opportunity.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I said, cool Jerry curl on Mr. Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
Got the full force going on.
Yeah. That's the problem.
How the hell were full force villains in House Party when they were like R&B singers.
Well,
You should have got friggin' NWA to be the. You should have got NWA to be the villains.
Well,
imagine them as the villains instead of Full Force.
Who's more of a heroic group that you want to see succeed than Kid and/or Plague?
Right, but I'm saying Kid and Play versus NWA. Or than Full Force.
I don't know. I think Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes wouldn't have been able to handle the night of Kid and Play.
Cornette's mind would have just exploded. Back in Eddie, just
Cornette's mind would have exploded at this. I'm surprised it had. I'm surprised it hadn't. Imagine somebody should kidnap Cornette and make him watch this on a loop.
Honestly, considering that Cornette's now on the team at MLW, I think this is pretty much similar to MLW shows.
MLW had a good show Saturday with Loki.
Yeah, I was about to say, sir, do not compare MLW to this horseshit you're watching.
Probably for the right on this one, because MLW has been very good, even though they have been hemorrhaging wrestlers much like AWA in 1989. So
I just wish it'd come back to Florida for a show.
Yeah.
Hey, they'll be there in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact about Wayne Bloom: he was a former state powerlifting champion in Minnesota.
Yeah, that was pretty likely on it because Vern Gagne loved having people with amateur skills and legitimate credibility. So it's likely that Bloom could have the chops there as well. Plus, powerlifting does mesh with pro wrestling really well. So
yeah,
to a degree.
Here's what happened. What would happen if Bill Watts' UWF / Mid-South took on Vern Gagne's AWA in all shoot fights?
Honestly,
oh shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because AWA had the amateur credibility. Mid-South had the more badass people, and from what we found in MMA, right? Amateur wrestling can usually beat a badass brawler. So I assume
Dr. Death.
Come on, he's using a cereal box as like a foreign object.
Yes. This is
Dr. Death was part of Mid-South, and he was the best one of them all. So
yeah,
that
but
might port Mid-South.
Remember the Brawl for All. Everybody thought that it was Steve Williams' to lose, and then he loses to a lucky punch from Bart Gunn.
That was a good shoulder. That was a good flying shoulder block there by Dukes.
Yeah, and that's
he gets the win.
Yeah.
God, both Beverly Brothers, both Destructor Crew member job on a serial show. I hope they got paid.
Yeah, and that's one of the sad things on it, where all these wrestlers are very, very good at their job on it. And on paper, if this wasn't a serial show, this would probably be a really good show.
Yes. This was so underneath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I get it, for what it was, but this was so underneath.
Yeah.
This
is one where you feel bad for the wrestlers on it, that they have to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Colonel De Beers.
Mm-hmm. With the bad guys sign continuing to go with this one, because this just has no production values.
Sometimes it's the best shows, though.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but even with those ones, there's still, if it's something that should know better, you feel like it goes through. Like, you can expect it from a small-time indie, and those are great shows on it, but AWA should know better. Hell, Kellogg should know better. If you're paying them this much for all these people, you have to do something there.
Right.
This is, and going back to the KSA and KSA thing, this is almost like we want, Andre the Giant, and we want, people that have been dead for years to show up. like they didn't know what they knew what they wanted. They just didn't have a clue what was available.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that goes with a case where a lot of times that is how it is with executives for it. Like the story from ESPN's book was when AWA got their deal with ESPN, they ran down, okay, we got the number 3 company in the world, the best one available. They have people like Greg Gagne, like Jim Brunzell, like Rick Martel, like Sergeant Slaughter. And an executive said, we got Slaughter? And everybody
Yes.
looked at my kids love it.
Surprisingly, Slaughter wasn't part of this.
Yeah. Well, I think that Slaughter was probably in the level that he already had his deal with Diet Coke at the time, so he had his money coming in that way. So
He had a deal with Diet Coke back then?
yeah, he was in a Diet Coke commercial. So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Fuck your cereal. I got Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it does make sense because I bet that most of these people are probably being paid in Coke anyway. So
You're
Yeah, that's
probably
an
not wrong.
understatement, Tommy.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
For some reason, this show is making my computer run a little warm.
Yeah. Honestly, it just goes with the problems on it, where that's usually why it's better to go with me where I'm running off a TV, so.
I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn, he's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
one of the
surprised
beers, like
I haven't heard of this show before this, because you'd think this would probably have been a hot thing on the tape trading market just to see how bad this could be.
yeah, right? I mean,
Shit. As part of the market at the time, like no, this was
here's
not
a weird thought.
any,
You know how they used to sell like
anywhere.
Japanese wrestling for porn?
Mm-hmm.
You think they might have sold this show to lonely women for porn?
Well, I can't understand the animal magnetism of Colonel De Beers, so
Yeah.
yeah. But really, it's those ones where we all remember the Jobber Universe videos on this one, and what we think would work for lonely
Over
women.
universe videos?
You know, those old things from that website from the old WoW board where those people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who sold jobber squashes as softcore porn. Yes, this was once a thing.
And
Why?
lonely
why?
men and women eat cereal, so
Yeah.
I mean it's a win-win scenario.
Yeah.
Why have I got Candyman by Aqua going on in my head right now?
Oh shit! I almost went Barbie girl. I almost hurt.
No, I got I am the Candyman. Coming from Bodyland.
I almost took it a step further.
I'm not gonna sing any further. I suck at singing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do the girl. I used to be able to do the girl's voice well. I guess because my throat's a little dry, I can't do it as well as I normally could.
Yeah. There's a
pretty good
at time when you start to play the girl's voice in Europop, and then you start to play the random Nordic or German man who keeps singing really slowly and says stuff.
I'm usually
it sounds
good
like you could use some Kellogg's or General Mills cereal to help lubricate that throat if it's dry.
Stop it.
Yeah, I just had to. I mean, fuck, you guys are putting me through this. I have to get my jabs in when I can.
Yes. Well, this does help on these ones where it's just.
There goes the ref. There goes the ref.
Wow, a ref bump at a show like this. They're just putting out all the stops here, so.
The ref's dead. You killed him at a cereal show. What do you guys have to say for yourselves?
Mm-hmm. It's still one of the pluses. This may be the lowest moment in AWA history, and I include the many times they pushed the child molester.
Who was the child molester?
Rock and Roll Buck Zumoff.
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I was thinking Greg Gagne, but
I don't know. I think Greg Gagne would be the person who. Greg Gagne just seems like his favorite pickup line in Minneapolis was, "My dad owns AWA," and it never ever worked because they realized, "Oh, you're Greg Gagne."
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Oh. Sales executives. They're beating down the beers.
Mm-hmm.
That double drop kick is aces, by the way.
Yeah.
Second best double drop kick behind the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah. Well, this was one of the pluses of the time where they had a lot of good double team moves at the and
Nice. All right. 6'5", 195 pounds.
And we continue with more of the hype for Kellogg's on this one.
Hey, here's a question. You think any of these guys still work 30 years later for Kellogg's?
It would shock me if 30 years later any of these people are still alive, so.
Whoa.
This motherfucker looks like Putnam from The Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
With a fucking skullet.
Mm-hmm. Later on, you see why WWE instituted a promo class on this one. Clearly, the people from Kellogg's could institute the same.
Actually, take it back. This motherfucker doesn't look like Putnam. He looks like fucking Mr. Ernst from Hey Dude.
That I could absolutely see.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Private Mills in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a cereal eating contest like a hot dog contest on the 4th of July?
I don't believe there is, because
surely there is.
Yeah,
Granny, you underestimate the United States. Surely there's a contest for any eating shit.
But it would be hard to imagine how the best way to eat cereal in a contest format would be, because either it's all milked and it's all soggy enough to do well, which works.
And look at the hot dog contest. They drain them in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Joey gets it. Like that's.
Yeah.
Like to me, a hot dog eating contest, you can have a drink afterwards or in between bites.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I mean, they literally dip the bun and everything to make it soggy and swallow and soggy and swallow. Yeah, surely there's a cereal eating contest somewhere in these grand states of ours.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Surely
Those ones, because it's also weird on it because most of it, you'd assume that if they do it dry, it would be too folded on it, and to be the case, it could crush their esophagus or slice it up. So
yeah.
You guys ever go to a place where you have to eat like a 6-pound steak and it's free? You ever try that challenge?
I've tried the 5-pound burrito challenge in Texas. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you do it? Did you win or not?
Yeah.
I tried the 6-pound steak. It was a 6-pound steak, a potato, and a salad. I jobbed like a little bitch.
I once did a hot dogs place up here where you had to eat 6 hot dogs and get on the wall of the and the picture on it and get a T-shirt, or break the record to get your order free. I got 6, but that was it.
Yeah, I had to pay $80 for that steak because I jobbed like a bitch. Yeah, if I would have eaten it all, it would have been free. I had like an hour and a half to eat it, and I jobbed like a bitch. So I had to pay $80 fucking for my fucking birthday.
Yeah.
Bad company.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like somebody should have paid that for you.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done one of the big ass pizzas where you can have like friends, and if you guys finish it, that we didn't do. I did my damn best, but
how big around was the pizza, Mox?
Dude, it was like 3 foot, something like that.
36 inches. Tom Zink. That's Tom Zink.
Yep. And that's good for this one. Tom Zink and Greg Gagne showing their love of S&M. Because this couldn't have ended any better than that.
Word. Anyway, the biggest pizza I've ever seen was like 30 inches long. It was from a place in Tallahassee. Trying to think. There was a place at Florida State. There's a place in Tallahassee by Florida State. It's called Momo's Pizzeria. I wonder if it's still around, but they were selling pizza slices the size of your head, and they had like a 30-inch pizza for sale. I mean, it wasn't a competition or anything, but I remember ordering that once, and I had pizza for like 3 days.
Yeah.
The only 2 food challenges I won was the first one I mentioned, and then there were 10 wings that were super hot. If you finish them, you win and get your picture on the wall, and it's free.
Right.
Like, because
you know what? Talk shit all you want about Greg Gagne, but he had a decent drop kick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, that's one of the pluses where Greg Gagne wasn't bad as a wrestler. Even he had some moments where he was eminently usable in AWA. It's just that he was the first of the big national names who just weren't main eventers, and it was just the wrong thing to try and force it.
Yep.
He was like Eric Watts, except I don't think Eric Watts had a decent drop kick, though.
No. But the difference, Eric Watts did eventually grow some charisma, so he didn't have that for
like
it.
more cereal at Pat Tanaka.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Diamond ain't gonna like that. He's beating him down.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck didn't the WWE just keep them as bad company?
That was just a blatantly fake stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, why the fuck didn't they just keep them as bad company and have them be the evil rockers? I'm taking that bullshit to my grave. They would have been better as the evil rockers, not the shitty Orient Express.
Well, I think it's because they started out with Tanaka and Sato on it, and by the time
for fuck's sake, keep them off TV for a few months and reintroduce them.
Yeah.
Well, plus, I don't know if AWA held the rights to the name also, so.
They were bad company in Memphis as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they actually brought back the bad company name in ECW.
Yeah.
So they probably owned it.
They might have done it in WCW a couple times too.
No, they didn't. They didn't call themselves Bad Company in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, they wrestled like as Pat Tanaka, and Haito instead of Kato. Haito.
Mm-hmm. Surprising they do that there, because at least that was when WCW was able to get actual Japanese people. So,
well, the fun fact about that was when they were hyping up Stone Cold versus Great Muta on an event, they had Stone Cold. I mean, not Stone Cold, when he was stunning Steve Austin. And anyway, stunning Steve Austin was supposed to be fighting the best from Japan. The first week they get Firecat, aka Battle Cat, aka Brady Boone. The second week they get Tanaka-san, aka Pat Tanaka. The third week they get Haito, aka Kato, aka Paul Diamond.
Sounds like the best in Japan to me.
Oh, bullshit. Diamond kind of looks like David Boreanaz with a mullet here.
Wasn't it around that time that Bad Company, the musical group, had something to do with the name?
They came out with an album back in '89, yes, and they had a different singer.
Yeah.
They had a good song. They had a couple good songs, like "No Smoke Without Fire" was a good song.
Yeah,
right,
there was
but something about the trademark of the name. Trademark of the name. It's something I'm going blank on, but something about that actual usage of the name.
Oh, okay. 10 minutes have elapsed. We have 5 minutes left. Surprised this match has gone on 10 minutes, but here we are. Double shoulder block. They're both drunk and out. They're both out and drunk, just like any other normal Saturday night in Minnesota, I guess. Hell, probably just like any other time and after an AWA show. Period. Hey, did you guys ever see that video? Did you ever see that video during the Bash of the Beach 1988 where supposedly they were all coked up?
I didn't see that video, no. But
I haven't seen that all the way through, but it's from what little I saw, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it would make perfect sense because, as great minds from the 80s said, cocaine's a hell of a drug. So,
yeah. Z-Man and Gagne now laying the smackdown on Bad Company. Oh, I'm sorry, sales and management. Well, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Honestly, that's clearly not AWA if they made this show.
Double drop kick by Gagne and Z-Man.
Yep.
Double backdrop. This wasn't a good night for Bad Company, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when the Mills brothers go into Kellogg's territory.
High cross body. And he pins Pat Tanaka before Diamond can save him. And
yeah,
Z-Man gets the biggest win of his career.
Glorious skills of Kellogg's. Only they can give you proper food in a daily breakfast. They have shown their honors, and this is what you get for as the skill of capitalism.
Who the fuck gets that trophy?
That is for the honor of the Team Kellogg's.
I think everyone should get a trophy for watching that damn show.
More than likely.
I'm just disappointed we didn't get a Tony the Tiger run in.
Yes.
Right.
It's even worse because Lee Marshall worked for AWA at the time.
You get it. You get what I was saying. Yes. Like.
Did Lee Marshall do the voice of Tony the Tiger?
Yeah, it was the voice of Tony.
Yes, he replaced shit, I forget his name.
Rob Paulson?
Yes. He replaced Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was really Rob Paulson as Tony Tiger. I was just taking the piss.
Yeah. You didn't notice it was him when he had all those times where he was talking about some frosted flakes.
Oh, fuck me! Running
for weasels.
Dude. Yeah. WrestleMania 36 in Tampa, 2020.
Yep, they just announced it today.
Holy shit.
And everyone's excited on this one where, one, Tampa gets a lot of big things for it and all the WrestleMania week things on it. And at the same time, everybody's united for one thing. If they don't give Kairi Sane a spot on the show just so they can use the pirate ship, then they fail forever.
Go to Jacksonville, right? You cowards. Pay the money, you cowards.
Anyway,
Well, there is the problem on it where it's not just the fact that it's AEW's stomping grounds for Jacksonville, but rather the fact that upon closer reflection, they found out it's Jacksonville.
Well, I know. I was making a bad joke.
Yes. But, yeah, honestly, if they did go to Jacksonville first, then everybody in Minnesota and Boston should riot for that. Because, seriously, when are they getting one if you give it to someplace like Jacksonville? Jacksonville is worse than when they gave WrestleMania to Hartford.
Hartford.
Yep. But before going to the next one, we have the Fastlane previews on this one. And
I'll be back. I gotta use the bathroom again.
Yeah, before going to the video power episode, we go.
I thought we were gonna do a song of the week.
Yeah. Okay, put the song.
Wait a minute. Let me use the restroom first.
Okay. That definitely works because that's one of those shows where you have to savor it. You have to let it linger. You have to realize just what the hell you watched. It's great product. It's great that WWE put this on there because this is the type of curiosity you'd never see anywhere else. No one knew about this show beforehand, and just putting it up there is there. But watching it, it's like, really? This existed. This happened, and we let it happen. It's just, I don't know. I guess I need something to eat. Maybe some delicious Kellogg's cereal, part of this complete breakfast.
Do you want your flakes frosted or non-frosted?
I don't know on this one because I still don't trust it based on the Kellogg's streetwear, which had people wearing their clothes to let you know they wanted their butts frosted.
Right. I'm back.
Hey, don't forget Christmas.
That didn't take long.
Right on the other.
Yep.
Oh, when you gotta go, sunshine.
Yep.
Sir.
Anyway, who's up for the song of the week?
Song of the week works for me.
All right, before we watch Video Power, tonight's song of the week, well, we're going back in the day to 1992, around that time, and there was a fun-loving guy that was breaking onto the rap scene. His name was Positive K, and you may know him from this song.
I can't fucking believe this. The same shit happened to the same guy twice. Hey, yo, sweetie, you looking kind of pretty. What's a girl like you doing in this rough city?
But that's not the song we're going to play this week.
Yes, we have to go with
it's not the song, although I would love to see Vanilla Ice and Princess Superstar team up to do a remake of that, but that's another
honestly,
song.
that would work because, being fair, I Got a Man was the song that, if they did that now, it would be every creepy DM that people slide into at this point. So you got to remember that as well.
Anyway, meanwhile, I want to go on record saying Princess Superstar is a fox, sexy fox. But that's another story for another time, ladies and gentlemen. We're right now doing the song of the week. So Positive K had his gimmick was he would play the voice of both the male and the female. Well, there was another song that he did in this little way that he'd like to do. And the song of the week is called Car Hoppers.
Swinging over here, yo. Swinging over here, yo. Gotta go in the one.
This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
Excuse me, but I'm a new today.
Well, yeah, you might say.
What you doing out here in my neighborhood?
What can I say? The blade is good, but nah, I'm just passing through.
Well, here's the question I'm asking you. Do you think maybe we can get together?
really, do I know you from somewhere? Was there a reason that you're giving me that kind of stare?
Ooh, baby, that feeling is banging. Me and you need to be hanging.
Well, do the right thing and slip me that number, hun, and I'll take you after I make this other one.
You're probably married and engaged with a child or two.
Now wait a minute, baby. I won't lie, I rock, shop, knock you loose, and you in my car, my driving Miss Daisy too.
Well, if you want it, you can have these things. Has anybody told you that you got shoes in it? Let's take the business money.
Whoa, there it is, honey. Now, fellas, if I didn't have a car, tell me could I stop up? Car hopper. Cause I make nothing no one gave us an energy. Hey girl, feel like I'm alone for the ride. It looks like you need a good man by your side. I know you're independent, you know I'm fully grown, but still, it's not safe for pretty girls to drive alone.
Check the game, I know what you wanna ask me, but I know he's the company night answer, ain't no taxi. Yeah, I'm different than me, but still, you better go ahead and put it breaking in November.
Nah, slow your roll, ain't no need to be cold. If I seen you in the streets, I wouldn't let you stroll. You never know, I just might start to write it. If you stop treating me like some type of hitchhiker.
Like in me green, who think I can go late? You better find devils and ride conversate. Before I let you call up and try to bounce me around the property, kind of on it by my nose.
Well, let me keep the willy bubble, you can tell them I don't know that you don't really. I know, baby girl, I'm not although that's not sociable talk, it's just ludicrous. So unlock your doors and give me your streets and show me how to adjust these seats.
What if I didn't have a car?
Well, I might stop you.
Yeah, right. Now, ladies, if he didn't have a car, tell me, would he stop us? Just like I saw car hopper. You might know my name, but not like you don't know.
Cause I make cut it looks like they were singing in the air. When the brothers in the ride, it ain't hard to decide. Women transform like Jekyll and Hyde.
Well, I'm a hottie with a body, and you know you can't scoop me. If you drive a Benz or if you're in a hoop.
Now, honey, if I had a fat new Acura, you wouldn't care if I was married or a bachelor.
Listen, nothing's going on but the rest. So you're living with your mother. I guess you don't know what I meant. All the fly cars start coming out your face. Give me a call when you get your own place.
Oh yeah, now you get the laugh. You want me to get my own place so you can take half? Now that's what I really doubt. And like Eddie Murphy said, you can get the out.
So you roll without a joke, probably yours gets up. I don't gotta act cause I already know. Just watch who you're talking to. All my lights start walking through.
Now see, I spend money when it counts. And I can write a check maybe in the whole bank.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. And oh yeah, I forgot some with the 5, 6, 10.
For you, all I got is hard times and rhymes and you're hearing it. The food people start wearing
Now
it.
ladies, if you didn't have a car, tell me when he stop up. Car
Now
hopper.
fellas, if he didn't have a car, tell me could he stop up? Car hopper.
Tu sais que les belles voitures. Regarde.
Oh, elle est belle.
Elle est super.
Wow.
En plus, c'est une Lexus, t'as vu ça?
Lexus.
Song of the week this week, Positive K Car Hoppers. And funny comment from someone here. YouTube comments. They used to play this and I Got a Man on the Box back in the 90s, and I used to love how they were basically the same song. Big up Positives K. That's from Jake Diago. Shout out to Jake Diago. You're spot on that, my friend.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes to the next stuff on it, and so we get our mandatory wrestling things to keep going with what I put on before we decided on this one. We have our Fastlane previews on this one before going to Video Power next.
And the Video Power episode, we're gonna watch. I'll just talk later. We'll do predictions first.
Yep. The first one on it would be the pre-show match with Rey Mysterio versus, coming up next on stage, put your hands together for Andrade.
Ray.
Yeah. Honestly, it could go either way on this one, and the fact it's getting a pay-per-view match, at least a pre-show match, is pretty good anyway, because this just looks like it's going to be a good match. The better question on this won't be who wins, but rather, how many stars does it get?
How many stars does it get? I'll say 4.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the pluses on it, because worst comes to worst, it can't be that bad. These two have great chemistry together. You know it's going to be worth the price of the pre-show, so So that's really all you can ask for on it. Any thoughts, Mox or Roche?
Now, I don't really have anything to add. I agree with what you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm. And you, Mox? Mm-hmm. So basically,
did we lose Mox?
I think we did. So,
I guess car hoppers ran him off.
Yeah, but continuing on this one, you have the Tag Team Championship on Raw with the Revival versus Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. And you know this is a question on it where you can't even think of a good team name for Aleister Black and Ricochet on it. Where even with Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, you have Glorious Alpha or something like that. Right. Or with Naomi and Carmella, Fabulous Glow. But what do you make for Aleister Black and Ricochet?
Left-handed
Gothic Flight.
Yeah.
Gothic Flight.
Well, I know that if there was the case with his feud with Velveteen Dream, you could probably use the Dark Prince. So you have that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna predict they're gonna fast track. I really wish Hawkins and Ryder would have been in it, and then that would be how they get the win. Or maybe they might be setting them up to do it at WrestleMania. So, with that said, I would think Roode and Gable on a heel turn would win the belts if they would be setting that booking up for Ryder and Hawkins to win it at WrestleMania. But I will go with the safe prediction of Ricochet and Aleister Black will win the tag belts, but Gable and Roode will heel turn.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well on it, but I'm thinking the Revival keep the belts, if only because if they keep the belts, then you still have Hawkins and Ryder as the, okay, if you still want to stay, we'll let you keep the belts and go through. If you don't, you're losing to Hawkins.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. And then you go to the big match on it with singles match where Becky Lynch wins. She's back in the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania 35. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch.
Well, to quote you, Tommy, yes, Queen, slay.
Yes.
Well, this is Charlotte Flair, so it would probably be more like, yes, Queen, slay.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more, yes, slay, Queen. But ultimately, this is the problem on it where you know it's a WWE angle where they took the hottest angle in the company that everyone wanted to see, and now it's like, meh. I mean, ultimately, it's, yeah, we still want to see Becky win. We still want to see her in WrestleMania, but meh.
They just keep dragging it out, you know?
Yeah. And ultimately, that's the problem on it where this is what happens when the whole story is how much adversity Becky goes through, and so she has to have adversity.
You were talking about one of you were talking about the booking idea of you were talking about how she should beat Nia Jax, then Charlotte, then Ronda. That would have been a more slower paced booking, but that would have worked perfect. And they just rushing it all to hell and back now.
Yeah, and that works more of it because ultimately, if you're going to make a storyline where she has to strive through her adversity to make it to the top, just having an angle where you have to exorcise all the demons to finally get your moment is just perfect on it. It worked with Bayley's run to the NXT title where she had to go through Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte to win the title. So it just goes through naturally. And it works because ultimately it ties into the same problem that the big weakness with Becky Lynch all along was that the fans were happy with anything you give her because they wanted everything due to, yes, Queen Slay. And it was, we want Becky Ronda. Oh, we also want Becky Charlotte. Oh, we also want Becky Nia. Oh, can you send her to NXT and have Becky Rhea? Oh, she fought, I'm sure Seth Rollins would fight a man. Have Becky Seth. And just went with it to the point where if you want everything, you want nothing. Ultimately, that's the problem with Kofi Kingston right now on it, where everybody wanted Kofi Mania, but just listen to the reactions Kevin Owens is getting. And that's as a face turned Owens. If the fans really wanted Kofi Kingston, they should have been furious Owens got this shot. But they're somehow not. And that's ultimately the worst thing, where 2011, when Zack Ryder was writing the thing, they tried giving you Alex Riley. They said, nope, we want Ryder. Tried giving you Mason Ryan. Fuck you. We want Ryder.
Whatever happened to Mason Ryan?
He's in Cirque du Soleil now as one of their archers.
No shit. Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, it's like Daniel Bryan says, the fans are
Fickle!
Fickle!
Fickle! Kennedy! Ohio!
Tetsuo!
Canada!
No, I think that's Bret Hart.
Inuyasha! Kagome!
Yeah.
Snake! Snake!
No, I don't think anyone wanted Randy Orton at the top. But
Elvin!
yeah. Ultimately, that's really the problem. Where with Ryder, it was once they gave John Morrison, someone the fans always loved, and the fans said, "Fuck you, we want Ryder." That happened. And with the Yes Movement, same thing. They gave us Big Show. They said, "No, we want Bryan." Gave us John Cena. Fuck you, we want Bryan. Gave us Batista. What part of fuck you don't you understand? We want Bryan. When they turned on Rey Mysterio, it was get it through your skull. We want Bryan and no one else will do. And that's basically the problem now, where the fans would quite like Kofi Kingston, but they'd quite also like Kevin Owens or Mustafa Ali or AJ Styles or any number of SmackDown guys who win the title. And if you and ultimately it's like in football. If you have two good quarterbacks, you have none.
Joe Montana and Steve Young were a good 1-2 combo for the 49ers back in the 80s.
Of course, but ultimately it was still Joe Montana was the guy, and when Montana failed, when Steve Young was ready to be the guy, they got rid of Montana.
Right, they had to. Their hand was forced.
Yeah. And that's really this thing again. You have two good options, you have none. And really that's the case where it just goes with the fans want Kofi Kingston, but they don't need Kofi Kingston.
Right.
And if you don't need someone, that's not a good look for it. Which ties to the WWE title match of Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens.
There's going to be some kind of fuckery, and I'm predicting two things. One, Sami Zayn will do a run-in and officially join Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to, weirdly enough, I could see it somehow setting up maybe a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania for the title between Bryan, Owens, Kingston, and Ali.
Yeah. Ultimately, that would work on it.
And I'm thinking Mustafa Ali would have gotten the Kofi push if he didn't get hurt. So,
well, yeah,
here we are.
Well, yeah, and ultimately, that's going to be a good what if in the future, because now Kofi has gotten that one, but ultimately, again, just boils down to the fans want all three of these guys, but they don't need any one of them. And that's also a problem when you have Daniel Bryan, who may be a villain right now, but every fan is quite happy that Daniel Bryan is the champion and don't really want to see him lose as much as it either. So it's not even we want the guy to lose so much, we'll accept anyone.
Right.
Continuing on from there, you have the Shield make their last reunion and probably the last stand of the Shield as they take on the ultimate force of Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Bitch Boy Bobby.
Oh boy. I've heard contradicting rumors about Ambrose. You know, I've heard he's staying. I've heard he's going. WWE, you know, they probably have figured out a long time ago about the internet, and now they're probably, you know, releasing fake stories if they haven't for years. This is weird. I mean, I really don't know where to go with this. I mean, logically, I would think the Shield would win and it would make the most sense. But if Ambrose is on his way out, I guess you got to put over the new. Putting over the new trio of Bitch Boy Bobby, McIntyre, and Corbin makes sense. And
yeah, and it would give them something to say. I got rid of the Shield.
I'm gonna go with begrudgingly and cautiously. I'm gonna go with Bitch Boy Bobby, McIntyre, and Corbin.
Yeah, and ultimately it would work there on it because that's really the question mark. Where I don't think that Dean Ambrose is staying, but I think that at the very least we're at a point where we probably won't see Dean Ambrose wrestling anywhere else. Where
AEW has John Moxley main event feud with Kenny Omega. Who says no?
Honestly, that's the point where I think that WWE is going to let Ambrose walk away, but I think that Ambrose will be walking away under the feeling that if you want to leave now, we'll let you leave, but if you ever feel like wrestling again, call us back and we'll happily take you back.
You don't think he'll go to AEW and feud with Omega?
I don't think that it would work. I would be
really?
more likely to assume it because Jimmy Havoc is now in AEW, so now he has a good opponent, and I think he'd be a better opponent for him than Omega, so that helps things there. But
or the dark horse idea, Ambrose joins Impact, or as John Moxley teams with OV, which would make perfect sense.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, I think that I still trust Dean Ambrose from what he said on the Jericho podcast a couple of years ago, that when he left WWE, what he'd do is he'd do 1 or 2 death matches because death matches pay really well, and then he'd just go off into the mountains somewhere. And somehow it seems like Ambrose is just pretty much checked out of pro wrestling as a whole. So
doesn't Edge live in the mountains in North Carolina?
I think he might or so, but
well, then Ambrose will be his new neighbor.
Yep, and that could be a sitcom as well because Edge with Dean Ambrose as a wacky next door neighbor could always be good.
We gotta throw Grizzly Adams in there if Dan Haggerty's still alive.
Well, if not, you can find other people who'd be able to hang out with bears. So
right.
I think the closest thing we'd be able to find to Grizzly Adams would be the son of Grizzly Smith.
Yeah.
You might know him as Jake Roberts.
Right.
Well, I was going to go with Sam Houston there, or Rockin' Robin.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's going to be some.
Just sending you something, Tommy.
Yeah, I just saw it, so. But continuing on this one,
I just gave you the link.
We have the Boston Hug Connection facing Nia Jackson Tamina, so.
Boston Hug Connection will win, and then they'll face the Iconics at WrestleMania.
I could see it on this one, but I'm assuming it's Boston Hug versus the Iconics versus some possibly Sky Pirates because the show in NXT made it clear they want that one. So
who's it? Sky Pirates, Kairi Sane, and who?
Io Shirai.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. And then we have from there to a match that has been getting all the build on WWE.com and no build on regular television. Asuka versus Mandy Rose.
Well, it's because on regular TV, there's nobody who's ready for Asuka.
I hope that fucking Asuka wins this. I am going to throw up. I'm already throwing up over Mandy Rose dealing Asuka her second one-on-one loss.
Don't you see this one on this one? It's a golden goddess here, Joey. You gotta put her up against Asuka. Who'd you rather have, an empress or a goddess?
There's only one golden goddess, and her name's Alicia Silverstone.
I don't know. I think that Mandy Rose would have been a better Batgirl, so.
Oh, Tommy, you
Thank you
crazy man.
Yes. But yes, ultimately it's still the question mark where I'm not sure if it would be a better Batgirl or if it would just be, I just want to see Joker break their back so we don't see him wrestle. But otherwise.
No, the best role for Alicia Silverstone was Cher Horowitz, and you know this.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's a Joker movie coming out with Joaquin Phoenix looking like a juggalo.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's the problem on it. The post-Dark Knight things has turned the Joker from great clown who's an anarchist to anarchist edgelord juggalo.
Basically, the Dark Knight accidentally turned Joker face, and if that didn't accidentally turn him face, Suicide Squad did.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad did.
Mm-hmm. Well, ultimately, the Suicide Squad movie did give us a new look for Joker on it and teaches people a valuable lesson. It's more important to have someone who your friends will be jealous of, who's a psychopathic murderer, than someone who'll treat you well that your friends won't be jealous of.
The funny thing is, when Matt Bourne, before he died, was redoing the Doink the Clown gimmick, he reinvented his Doink look to look like the Joker from The Dark Knight, and he actually pulled it off well.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't wear the wig; he just dyed his own hair green, which was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway. I imagine if he'd managed to pull on or to hang on a few more years, we'd see Doink coming out with damage written across his forehead.
Matt Bourne was able to. I wish Matt Bourne didn't die, because, I mean, if you see some of his indie matches as Doink from the last few years he was alive, when he was doing the Joker get-up, when he was doing the Joker Dark Knight get-up, he looked like he could still work, and he was still pulling it off well.
Yeah. Well,
I say it, if he would have stayed alive, he could have did the big comeback like PCO did last year.
Honestly, I bet that Joey Janela would have loved to book Matt Bourne on it. Hell, he booked Alabama Doinks, and that was even worse than that one. So it's clear he wanted a Doink the Clown on the show.
What they could have did if Bourne was alive was have, real Doink versus Alabama Doink.
Yep. And unfortunately, even though that's still a problem, that Alabama Doink also passed away on it, since we never got the concept of Doink the Clown doing an Alabama Man gimmick.
Who was Alabama Doink?
It was just a guy from Alabama who played Doink.
Oh.
Pretty much exactly what it said on the tin.
Maybe it was Mike Jackson, Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion from the NWA.
Nope, I think Mike Jackson still plays himself in the Alabama one from people I know who are in that scene, and it's just a random promoter who liked playing the Doink the Clown gimmick to get over.
Ah, okay. Anyway, more matches.
The other match on this one was...
Wait, I think Roach was trying to say something. Roach?
I was saying, hasn't Doink the Clown pretty much just become one of those, gimmicks that just about anyone who fits a certain body type can play, like Jason the Terrible or Lord Humongous?
Funny thing, even more those than just play. If you can afford a clown suit, you can play Doink the Clown.
Ah, okay.
To sort of stay on this Doink tangent, I stumbled onto a clip of Bruce Pritchard's podcast, and he was talking about how when the Headbangers, when Glenn Ruth, a.k.a. Thrasher, got hurt, and we all know Mosh became Beaver Cleavage, the original plan was for Glenn Ruth to play an evil clown, and supposedly Bruce Pritchard went into detail about this, and Pritchard said his gimmick was gonna be basically like Dan Aykroyd's Bass-O-Matic gimmick on Saturday Night Live. He was gonna basically be like that,
Yeah.
And today he was the CEO of DTK Enterprises, Doink the Clown Enterprises. Yes, they were going to spell clown with a K instead of a C for Glenn Ruth's incarnation of Doink if they would have brought it back. And
so that's
according to that,
the video, the Deeks logo, if they just did it DTC, so
no, it's DIC. But yeah, with Bruce Pritchard doing a Dan Aykroyd Bass-O-Matic gimmick, what do you think? Do you think that could have gone over back in like 1999, 2000 WWF or not?
Honestly, I think that it would have been an interesting gimmick to have something like Bruce Pritchard playing the role, but ultimately, I think that was way too old for fans to have possibly gotten over, which would have been the same thing for Beaver Cleavage, where you both had to have a firm view of 1950s sitcoms and a firm love of an incest fetish, and neither of those things happened in 1999.
Right, but I'm saying he would have been the CEO of DTK Enterprises. Originally, Bruce Pritchard's character was going to sell stuff for WWE.com and then turn heel and be the CEO of DTK Enterprises. And about Chaz Warrington, Mosh's Beaver Cleavage, the funny thing is, like, Pritchard on the same podcast is talking about it might have been my fault because he made a cut because the joke was Chaz's driver's license ID as a teenager. He looked like the Beeve. He legit looked like the Beeve, and Pritchard's like, why not just make him Beaver Cleaver's son? And Russo got the idea and deteriorated to what we saw. So there you go.
Yes, but that's also something where it was a much more past its prime on it, where you could have done this 50s gimmick in the 1980s when 50s TV was so big.
Chaz Warrington, though, was a teenager in the 80s. You couldn't get him.
Yeah, but you could. I'm talking about gimmick-wise. You could do that gimmick in the 1980s when people wanted a new Leave It to Beaver, vaguely.
Right, they did a new
Leave It to 2010s when step family porn videos are so big and everyone has the incest fetish.
Oh, good Lord.
Ha! We said it at the same time!
Yes. That definitely deserves a Gillette, so... But
it's just funny how me and Roach said that at the same time.
Yes.
Strange minds think alike.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why Whacked Out Wrestling works so well, folks. And then in the other match on the card, we have the Usos up against the best tag team in the world. And just as important for this match, the Miz's father will be at ringside.
I just have a bad feeling this is going to set up a heel turn for one of them. We get Shane versus The Miz, even though they need to stay together as a team for a couple years.
Honestly, I'd be more surprised if the Miz's father turns heel.
Miz's father with The Miz turning heel too?
No, I mean the Miz's father turns heel on The Miz.
So what, you're saying maybe Shane Miz versus Vince and Mr. Miz?
Possibly.
No, even better idea.
Weird.
Shane and Miz versus Miz's father and John Cena's father.
Oh, Lord.
That would be...
Johnny Fabulous.
Yep. That would be interesting on it, and it's always been a surprise that one year, just once, you would have Cena off TV for a movie, you hear the opening strains of My Time Is Now, and then John Cena's father comes out. That would just be interesting.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, take that vitamin C an hour, dude.
I am. That's the problem, though. Unfortunately, this is really, really bad post-nasal drip, and it's the type that if I take nothing, it lasts 6 weeks.
Can you gargle with salt water?
Yeah, I take the strongest medicines on the market and prescription medicines, and I start using heroin for the cough suppressant nature, and it lasts about 6 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. This is the problem where my post-nasal drip is severe post-nasal drip. The type that feels like it's going to last 40 years. The type that's 16-time world champion strength. In short, I got Ric Flair drip.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yes. Buttons, but yes, it is a problem on these ones, and there's so many ways to go, and I don't know what to happen on this one, where it just seems like the Miz and Shane story isn't over, and a WrestleMania match wouldn't be good enough for there, but I just don't know. So until then, let's go with the extra bonus of a video power episode and this talks about the WrestleMania challenge. And
yeah, I found this episode, and it works perfectly for our show.
Yeah. But before we go into this, since we're going into video game news, we have some more bonus video game news of the week, where a long lost wrestling video game has been unearthed this week.
Oh,
yes. From the story on this week, from 1988, we have a game by the SETA Corporation that was titled UWC on this one, and all the signs for this one says it had 8 NWA wrestlers, and it had the name UWC, which makes it kind of weird on this one, where it looks like it was a prototype for the WCW game. Most of the rest, just getting more information on it, and it does look like it's all the signs to this one say fit to this point. So, to compare it to what we have on it, basically,
this was a Sega game from the Master System.
No, it was for WWF. So. But the company that made it was called SETA. So
okay, and if it was like a prototype for the WCW game, then the WCW game for the 8-bit Nintendo was actually All Japan's NES Famicom's game.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But from what this one in the prototype on it, the characters would have been the Road Warriors, Sting, Jimmy Garvin, Bobby Eaton, Lex Luger, but it could have been Stan Lane, Ric Flair, and Barry Windham. Compared to the WCW game, you would have Flair, Sting, Luger, and the Road Warriors were in it. Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin were the Freebirds, so it's possible they went with Hayes instead of Garvin. Barry Windham had left for WWF by the time the WCW game came out. And it also added Mike Rotundo, Steve Williams, Kevin Sullivan, Ricky Steamboat, Rick Steiner, and Eddie Gilbert. Ultimately, the bigger things on it, which was the interesting smoking gun to this one, was the fact that they named this game that they found UWC, which was interesting because Universal Wrestling Corporation was the name of the shell company Time Warner used for top WCW stars' contracts and their trademarks in the Time Warner deal for WCW when WWF bought them.
Who was the final boss in the game? I know it was Andre the Giant in the All Japan game, and it was Andre the Master of the Machine in the Nintendo version. Who was it?
WCW Master, which was basically
I know that was WCW Master in the NES. I'm talking about in the prototype.
Doesn't say if there was a boss in this game.
Is there any video footage of it?
There should be a little bit, yes, and I'll send that to you afterwards on it, but all signs from this say that since UWC was the shell company for Time Warner, and until WCW was named WCW by Turner, they were going to name it Universal Wrestling Corporation. It looks like this was an early prototype or attempt at the WCW Pro Wrestling game. So,
very interesting.
Apparently, they had similar ones with no charging moves. And the WCW one was Superstar Pro Wrestling on it, but it does ultimately look like this was it was just a prototype of the game, of this WCW game that wasn't used.
Oh.
But until then, let's go to the Video Power episode and more info, Joey.
Video Power was a show from the early 90s that Season 1 was just a stereotypical video game review show which had a guy named Johnny Arcade who basically acted like the biggest coked up motherfucker of early 1990s. He looked like he could have been Justin Bieber's dad. He looked like 1990 Justin Bieber, but on like about 500 ounces of coke. So on the first season, he did just a simple review of a game, and then they were to be a cartoon called The Power Team. So they thought that wasn't good enough. So season 2, they turned it into a game show where he gets even more coked up, as he gets even more coked up. Words cannot say how hyper this guy was. Anyway, Johnny Arcade, his real name is Stevie Paskowski. He played a band member. He played a few small roles in other shows, but he's mostly known as Johnny Arcade. Video Power on the second season, like I said, was just a game show. I think it was pretty much the syndicated broadcast version of Nick Arcade, pretty much. Except instead of going in a video game, you'd basically go through an obstacle course or a maze like Double Dare meets Legends of the Hidden Temple. Really, the show speaks for itself. It was out there, but it worked. I'm surprised it never got any new play on G4 all those years ago, but we're going to watch Video Power WrestleMania Challenge Episode 4, and for a fun bonus, it has the original commercial breaks. So, guys, I'll count down. We'll play it at the same time. Have you guys all got the link ready?
Yep.
Roach?
Yep.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Your mark. Get set.
I'm at 15 seconds in, 16, 17, 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couple more seconds. Here we go. The opening. Someone called Johnny Arcade Marky Mark's arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought that was John Cena. He does look like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg, so.
I could just picture this guy as an arch nemesis for somebody, like an evil arch nemesis.
This guy looks like, I don't think he's Mark Wahlberg's arch nemesis as much as the guy who was the rejected whose buddy in the New Kids on the Block.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is catchy as fuck.
Yeah.
Video Power.
Yep. Video Power, the TV series for people who don't care about ethics and video game journalism.
Hey, the guy looks like Paul Diamond, but I know it ain't him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like Paul Diamond if Paul Diamond was a yuppie rather than a badass, but...
Mm-hmm. And apparently joined by the guy from Ugly Kid Joe, so...
Look at Johnny Arcade. That motherfucker does look like Bieber, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Circa 1991.
Still think it's the mix of Bieber if he was in New Kids.
Yeah. If you look at the guy today, he looks so different now.
Yeah. Well, of course, he doesn't have 1990s hair, which does tie into the same thing with the 90s hair on it. You know you're in the wrestling bubble when you
here's a commercial break.
Say rest in power to Jungle Boy Nate Coy's father. So
rest in peace, Luke Perry.
Yes.
We forgot that.
We will forget about the time you had to have gay sex to stop things from stealing Adam West's water.
What do you think these look at this Donruss 1992 baseball card commercial. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
God, they overproduced the shit out of these, but the elite cards from 91 to 92 that were only limited to 10,000 command a pretty penny.
Yeah. Well, that's always the plus on it, where it's just the...
So, say that again, Tommy?
Yeah. Just babbling because I just love old commercial breaks anyway.
Yeah,
that's
me
the
too.
thing I watch randomly, so...
Nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I'm straight edge, but I'm high on member berries right now, people.
Yeah. Me too. Also mescaline.
The live psychic line. What?
Yeah. Well, you have to be able to understand what you're thinking on this one. Like I did it, and I was thinking that they were full of shit.
Did you say mescaline or something?
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck's that?
It's basically some of the 60s drugs. So.
What's this? This game looks familiar. I just can't
think
of what.
Yeah, it's definitely on the Sega Genesis rip-off ones now, so it is kind of familiar on it. Wasn't that good though?
Is this from the Jaguar?
No, it was for Genesis.
Pink Chameleon.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now that guy looks like Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and now here's Johnny Arcade in his coked up glory. God, look at him. He's no wonder people say he acts coked up. He does. And yet when I was 11-year-old watching this shit at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning before going to school, I thought he was the coolest motherfucker ever.
Well, usually coked up people do seem like the coolest motherfucker ever.
Let me add Ferris Bueller to the list of people.
It will make you look and feel cooler and make you never give a fuck what you say.
Look at this guy. I'll take it back. He looks like Ferris Bueller as well.
Yeah.
Tommy, I think we're off a second on the sync.
Yeah. It's still kind of moot on it because usually mine has good acoustics for this, but that doesn't go too far.
Fun fact about the show: this was one of the first, if not the first, live action show Saban did.
Yeah.
So yes, people, the same motherfuckers that brought Power Rangers to America were responsible for this. Hey Roach, what you think of the show so far?
It brings back memories. I used to love watching this show.
Yeah. This is always interesting for extras, so.
I swear, that guy that looks like Paul Diamond is a yuppie. I swear he did voices in anime years later. Or working with the anime companies years later.
Yeah.
And that guy looks like, and that kid looks like Budnick.
Mm-hmm.
And Bart versus Station. What could you get from 15 coins? What could 15 coins get you? 15 coins. Get you. 15 coins. Looks like 15 coins can get you.
Oh shit, they stumped him. Yeah, that's what happened. If you stump Johnny Arcade, you get to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the clothes they wore back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna, if I could be serious for a moment, a lot of these clothes I would wear today if I could find them in my size.
I could absolutely see it too on it. It's time for 90s revival to come back.
Well, early 90s. Dude, look at all these clothes they're wearing in the. Is that Minkus from Boy Meets World?
It might be.
Well, if you know what, let's be real here. All the neon colors of the early 90s, they looked like 80s fashion too. So we're practically there right now, Tommy.
Yeah. And Minkus, if he wore child molester glasses, loses. So
Minkus was always a bitch boy jobber. Not really. I liked Minkus.
Mm-hmm.
I just talking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame he just went across the road on it.
Lou Ferrigno. Johnny Arcade's hair looks mint, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, people out there, who thinks I should cut my hair like that?
Honestly, I don't know. I think that the 90s hair has kind of lost it to the.
Video game clown.
This dude.
Yes, Tommy, this dude what?
They said name 3 video game clowns. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be on the show when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's always nice on this one. They just don't have as many shows where the payoff is you just steal as much merchandise as you can and can grab and go through, and that's your prize.
Yeah. The funny thing was, I mean, I wanted to be on that show. And I remember reading there was actually someone online that wrote a story about being on the show thinking he'd be the coolest person in school. And the next day, everyone basically thought he was a joke because he was on the show. So it had the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this commercial vaguely.
Yeah. Well, it also helps on this one because it tells you that if you need candy, you can outrun a truck.
Unless you're Sonic the Hedgehog, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Armstrong back in the day, everybody.
Also because he probably used
the psychic hotline again. I predict you shall go fuck yourself sideways, Bloody Mary Sunshine.
Yes. This is the problem when they had this one. Would have been better if it was the end of the decade. At least then we would have had, call me now for your free tarot reading. I see a man. I see a man. He lied to you. He lied to you. He take your curry goat.
Was that Kofi Kingston's mom behind all that?
I think it might have been. I see a
or
man.
Lebanon.
He cheat on you. He take all your Mali records.
Hey, wait a minute. Was that the motherfucker that molested Arnold on Different Strokes just then?
I think it might have been.
Hey, Flower.
Yeah.
Wilkins. What is this, a bread company? I'm thinking it's a bread company.
No, it's a moving company. Not sure why they'd advertise a moving company on video.
Okay, that girl looks fucking early 90s hot.
Yeah. Yep, I'd strangle them all night long.
Will you stop? Gillette, the best a man can get.
Yes.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Yes.
Jesus. Look, I mean, I say some vulgar stuff, but I even would have said that.
Yes. That's
you never ever need to make comments about me saying stuff again after that.
Of course. Yes.
The fuck, 282. Look at the background. Okay, 202, it's fixed. I don't know, man. I don't know, Tommy. Were you fooling around with Johnny Arcade's cocaine before you got on this show?
I did not inhale.
No comment, people. Pog. You know what? Honestly, I would have loved to have seen him play Pong. I mean, fuck, Nick Arcade did their version of Pong as one of their opening games. Fuck you, Johnny Arcade. Pong was badass.
Yeah, and a Pong tournament would work on it, so.
For that, you go get sodomized by Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. That would be too. That would be too.
Yeah.
Head.
And they used Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior as the promo match for this one, which worked as
because back then that was the match.
Yeah. If you saw Hulk Hogan today in the WrestleMania announcement for Tampa, it worked because now wrestling fans can also say honestly, Orange Man bad.
What'd he do on the promo for?
Nothing, but he just looked really, really orange. Like he looked as orange.
He always looks orange.
He looked Tampa Bay Buccaneers logo orange.
Old school Tampa Bay logos Buccaneers.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? They should bring that logo back. I mean, I just never got behind the pewter and black. I always thought when they first did it, they looked like a 49er ripoff. And
yeah,
I know I'm probably going to get downvoted for that, but I don't care.
I don't know. I mean, it does work on this one where having someone who looked like a swashbuckler in creamsicle uniforms does work there.
Well, they did win their Super Bowl with the pewter colors, and what did they do when they were orange? They didn't do jack shit, so...
Yeah.
So a kid looking creepy watching some kid, Mink, I believe that was Minkus playing the game there. Good. No, would it be funny shit if somehow that clock ended and Chris Jericho came out?
Yeah.
You know what? Video Power hosted by Chris Jericho would have been interesting. Even if it was
this seems like a game we could bring back today, and it would be more exciting now.
What?
You could bring this game back today, and it would be much more exciting. So
who would host it?
I don't know.
Let's get Kenny Omega to host it.
That would actually be interesting for it. So
Kenny Omega or TJ. You know what? If we can't get Kenny Omega since he just got released, TJ Perkins.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't trust TJ Perkins with kids, though, so.
Oh, boy. What do they give him? What do they give those guys?
Yeah.
I had sunglasses like that a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they look like Jim McMahon's.
Right now, the way that Johnny Arcade's talking it just talks the same way that the cool preacher at your church who wore a mullet and liked rock music and took pictures of all the kids naked would talk.
Oh, God. It looks like those are Jim McMahon style sunglasses on that one kid on Minkus.
Yeah. Here we go. 5 questions here. I've got him. 5 questions. Cocaine.
You think Johnny Arcade got laid? I mean, you think he really went out on the streets as Johnny Arcade and got himself some offer doing this show? We were making jokes about the AWA guys at Serial going out to bang some ring rats. What about Johnny Arcade after, doing a day's worth of taping this show? You think he would have went out on the town and scored?
I'd be more likely to assume that Johnny Arcade scored with the mothers of some of the kids to get him on the show, so...
Kind of like what Brian Pillman did, according to Z-Man, where Pillman would score with the kids' mothers.
Yeah.
God damn it, my computer's fixing to go. I mean, it just needs to be charged.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I just need to put this on the fucking charger.
Yeah.
Oh, you Bloody Mary Sunshine. There we go. It's fixed. God damn it. You know what? If it wasn't so freaking fun, I'd say let's go to a fucking Video Power binge and watch about 20 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
This is Whacked Out Wrestling. We do what we want, whenever we want, however we want.
Yes. We're the one wrestling podcast that's willing to not talk about wrestling all the time.
We introduce you to some odd shit that you might not be hip to, and we throw out some nostalgia for some people that might remember it. Like, we're old enough to remember this, but there's a lot of people that probably weren't probably even born yet when this was out. Oh Christ, I'm getting old. But I know there's motherfuckers that watch this shit that they weren't even their fucking parents are probably teenagers when this was out.
Yeah, this was from the 1990s, and it was
1992.
Like, oh God,
what's the matter?
Porn thing, looking at women who weren't alive at 9/11 this year. I mean,
what?
I did, but I can do it legally now.
What? What'd you say?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I can watch porn with women who weren't alive when 9/11 existed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I already did, but now I can do it legally.
Heavy Strutting, that was a cool game. That's some cool music. I think Tim Fallon might have did the soundtrack to that. I'm not sure. I think that was Heavy Strutting on the screen in that question.
Yeah.
Video power. My show is kicking with maximum hype. Say video power? Yeah, that's right. Word. I got the building. I can't remember the rest of it. I can't believe I remember that much of it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I'm watching this commercial for Donruss baseball cards, and I tried to go to a card shop. I tried to go to a card shop last week after I hit the gym. I tried to go to a card shop after that. Guess what happened?
What?
It turned from a sports card shop to a comic and toys shop. I'm like, to quote Bob Dylan, the times they are changing.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem on it, where now people don't want pictures of baseball players.
What did you say, Tommy?
Oh, just watching this thing again. Yeah.
Wait a minute, is that Sally Struthers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
And now we're even for earlier.
Dude, I just called the voice of Teenage Pebbles Flintstone hot.
Well, being fair, Teenage Pebbles Flintstone was hotter than this, so.
Yeah, but Bam Bam would kick your ass. But
I don't know. I think Bam Bam's he was powerful, but he seemed like a cock, so.
Jesus Christ on a cross, Tommy.
Well, you got to figure. Redheads are always freaks, so you know Pebbles was into it, so.
Now I'm kind of wondering if there's anybody out there that has cosplayed as Teenage Pebbles Flintstone.
I wouldn't be surprised on it.
Now, why am I picturing like Avril Lavigne from like 15 years ago cosplaying as Pebbles, Teenage Pebbles, and pulling it off?
I don't know on it. I know I've seen porn based on the Flintstones, which pulled it off. So
I don't want to hear about that, man. But I remember watching the Pebbles and Bam Bam show on USA Cartoon Express back in the day.
Yeah. I remember getting a full thing of it at 5 Below, so.
But weirdly enough, you know who I could picture as Teenage Pebbles, and this might be a stretch. Aubrey Plaza.
I'd say it's a stretch.
It's a stretch, yeah. The final power play. What are we playing, Johnny? Yeah, you're right. Johnny probably scored with the moms of these kids.
Yeah.
Supposedly this was taped in Staten Island. Or he's from Staten Island. It was taped in New York. I don't know.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they had a show, if I recall correctly, they had a show similar to this. It was called Video and Arcade Top 10 in Canada, and it lasted like 15 years. How the hell did that last 15 years and this only lasted 1?
No clue.
What show lasted 15 years?
There was a show on YTV in Canada. It's called Video and Arcade Top 10. It lasted 15 years and was similar to this. And they actually have a few episodes of that on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good show. Is it Hogan the Warrior again or not? I can't see.
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. No, that can't be Hogan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the motherfucker won already.
Yeah.
Minkus is kicking some ass. How can things look so cool when you're 11 years old, and then when you're 38, they look so stupid?
Because things just seem cooler when you're a kid. There's no such thing as a child hipster. You end up, your favorite song is what's on the radio. Your favorite TV show is what's the popular. Your favorite movie is the one that's the big one. And that's how it is for it.
Well, I mean, it's not everything. Like, I still love The Wizard, and I still love Good Burger today. I'm just thinking, I used to think Johnny Arcade was the man, and, you know, now I think, Jesus, he just is coked up as all fuck.
Well, and if you said this took place in Staten Island, I don't know if he was coked up or if he's just a New Yorker.
Well, a lot of why it seems
My mom's from Long Island, Tommy.
Now is like, I guess it's just like it has to do with how your brain perceives certain things. Like when you're a kid, you don't have to, like, you don't see things the same way as you do when you're an adult.
Yeah.
Zap It, I remember that.
Yeah.
They didn't bring those back. Zap It's.
Yeah. You'd think that they do more like paintball guns, squirt for it.
Yeah, Bab's big break. Dude, all those prank videos that you see on YouTube, they could have fun with those Zap It guns.
Yeah.
Good Lord, those.
Yeah, I don't think pranks and toy guns will end well at all.
Yeah, it was a different time back then. You're right. But then again, I seen not too long ago, I saw like videos of guys playing vulgar songs in the library.
Yeah.
And I made like about 20 of them. So who knows? Oh, I love this part. Make this job like a little bitch. Go to work, little dummy. Yeah, dummy. Yeah. It was hard as fuck. You know, I'm kind of acting like Johnny Arcade tonight, but I'm straight edge. Neo Geo.
Wanna go, man? You ready to take the run?
I'm going to go with the straight edge version of Johnny Arcade tonight, I guess, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I am who I am, people. 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab the skateboard. Look at that. Grab the skateboard. Yeah, you idiot. Grab a skateboard.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, he just wants the game, so.
You know what's so funny? I remember like 20 years ago at the flea market, I could buy Nintendo games for $3. Now, all those games I bought for $3 are going for like $20 fucking. You believe that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of do actually believe that shit.
Dude, I saw at my flea market Mike Tyson's Punch Out in the box for $90. It was like $50 back when it was new.
Inflation, man.
Here's prize number 2, Jackie Chan's Kung Fu.
What'd he say? What Kung Fu game?
Jackie Chan's Kung Fu.
Oh, okay. Pinball Quest, that was cool.
Here's Journey of Sirius.
Oh, that motherfucker should have grabbed a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember that about Video Power. They would soon enough invite some of the champs back and do like a tournament at the end.
Yeah.
Don't ever kid dancing around now like Snoopy.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should write that. You know what? Someone should write that letter to that address and see what happens with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
See
That's
where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, that could be Johnny Arcade's real address.
Yeah.
or you could be sent, or it could be like some seedy fucking S&M place, and they'd be like, "What the
So it
fuck?"
could also be Johnny Arcade's place.
What?
So it could also be Johnny Arcade's place.
Stephen Paskowski, Terry was Johnny Arcade, Terry Lee Turok, who looked like Paul Diamond, who looked like Paul Diamond, the Metro Mullet as a yuppie. Larry Dell, Lou Martin, Barry Goldberg, John Tenek, Craig Haft, Lisa Leverage. Some of these names are funny as hell. Well, shit. What do you guys want to do?
Your choice on it. So, should go with another episode, or just keep going, or just go from there. So
I don't know. I mean, Roach, what do you want to do, dude?
I honestly don't know. I mean, we've already covered the wrestling news for the week.
yeah, honestly, probably a good time to stop on this one, because I know I've got stuff early tomorrow. So
okay, fair enough.
So this is this week's of Whacked Out Wrestling, the show that's not about wrestling. And I am Thomas S.K. Green. With me is Joey the Caveman, and with me is John Roche.
And we had Mox earlier, and we'll see you next week, people.
And Mox, if you can hear us, we hope you're doing well. We hope you got home safe.
Well, yep.